Welcome back to English Podcast Academy, my lovely students. In this episode, we're diving into some of the biggest mysteries of the universe, questions that no one knows the answers to. There are things we think we understand, and then there are questions so complex, mysterious, or mind-blowing that even the greatest scientists and philosophers struggle to answer them. Today, we'll explore these fascinating questions while improving your English listening skills. Let's begin. One of the biggest questions that remains unanswered is what happens after we die. This mystery has fascinated humans for thousands of years, leading to countless religious, spiritual, and philosophical interpretations. Every culture has its own beliefs about the afterlife, but the truth is, no one knows for sure. Some believe that death is not the end, but rather a transition to another existence. Many religions speak of a heaven or a paradise where the soul finds eternal peace, while others describe a cycle of rebirth where consciousness continues in a new form. In Hinduism and Buddhism, for example, the concept of reincarnation suggests that after death, a person is reborn into a new life, carrying the consequences of their past actions. This idea offers both hope and responsibility. What you do in this life might shape the next. On the other hand, many people believe that consciousness simply ceases to exist, much like a candle going out. This perspective, often linked to scientific materialism, suggests that our thoughts, memories, and awareness are all tied to the brain, and when the brain stops functioning, everything we are disappears. But even here, questions arise. If consciousness is just a product of the brain, how do we explain near-death experiences reported by people who claim to have seen a light, met deceased loved ones, or even observed events happening around them while clinically dead? Some scientists argue that these experiences are hallucinations caused by a dying brain, while others wonder if they could be glimpses of something beyond our current understanding. Another fascinating question is whether our memories and identity can exist separately from the physical body. Some philosophers and scientists have speculated about the possibility of consciousness being a form of energy that doesn't just disappear. Could it continue in some unknown way? There have even been scientific efforts to explore this. Some researchers have tried to measure whether the human body loses any weight at the moment of death, attempting to determine if the soul has a physical presence. While science provides evidence that the body decomposes and the brain activity stops, it cannot yet answer the deeper question of what, if anything, happens to our sense of self. Is death the ultimate end, or is there something beyond? This is a question we may never be able to answer with certainty. Until then, it remains one of the greatest mysteries of human existence. Another mind-bending question is, does the universe have an edge? We know that the universe is expanding, but into what? This question challenges our very understanding of space and reality. Imagine traveling in a spaceship in a straight line. Would you eventually hit a wall, fall off the edge, or just keep going forever? If there is an edge, what lies beyond it? And if there isn't, how can something be truly infinite? Current scientific understanding suggests that the universe is expanding due to the Big Bang. But what exactly is it expanding into? Is there an outer boundary? Or is space itself stretching in a way that we can't yet comprehend? Some physicists propose that space is curved in a way that, if you traveled far enough, you might eventually end up where you started, like walking in a giant loop on a spherical planet. Others suggest that the universe is truly infinite, meaning there is no boundary at all. But if that's the case, does that mean there are infinite galaxies, infinite Earth-like planets, and even infinite versions of you living slightly different lives in different corners of reality? This idea connects to the mind-boggling concept of the multiverse. Some scientists theorize that our universe might be just one of many, existing alongside countless others. These universes could have different physical laws, different histories, or even completely different forms of life. In some versions, the force of gravity might be weaker, stars might burn differently, or life might have evolved in unimaginable ways. But while the multiverse is a fascinating theory, it remains purely hypothetical. There's no concrete evidence yet to prove or disprove its existence. What makes this mystery even more challenging is that space is so vast that we may never be able to explore beyond our tiny corner of the cosmos. Our most advanced telescopes allow us to see deep into the universe, but even light from the most distant galaxies has taken billions of years to reach us. That means we're looking at the past, not the present. If there is an edge to the universe, it may be beyond our ability to observe, hidden in a realm we cannot yet reach. The truth is, we don't know whether the universe has an edge or what lies beyond what we can see. It's one of the biggest mysteries in physics, and until we develop new ways to explore the cosmos, it may remain unsolved. But one thing is certain. The more we learn about the universe, the more mysterious it becomes. Now let's consider an age-old question. Why do we dream? Scientists understand that dreaming happens during the REM, rapid eye movement stage of sleep, a phase when brain activity is high and similar to being awake. But why does our brain create these vivid, strange, and sometimes completely nonsensical experiences? That remains a mystery. One theory suggests that dreams help us process emotions. Throughout the day, we encounter various situations that trigger stress, excitement, fear, or joy. Some researchers believe that dreaming allows the brain to sort through these emotions, helping us make sense of our experiences and regulate our feelings. This might explain why people often have intense or emotional dreams after experiencing something significant in their waking life. For example, if you're nervous about an upcoming exam, you might dream about showing up late or forgetting all the answers. Another popular idea is that dreams help with memory consolidation. Our brains are constantly absorbing new information, and some scientists believe that dreaming is a way to reinforce important memories while discarding unnecessary details. This could be why students often dream about topics they studied intensely before an exam, or why people who have experienced trauma sometimes relive those moments in their dreams. But if dreams are meant to help with memory, why do we sometimes dream about completely random and unrelated things, like flying through space on a giant banana or talking to a cat in a business suit? Some experts suggest that dreams are simply the brain's way of staying active while we sleep. Since our brains don't completely shut down at night, random neural activity might create strange and disjointed stories. This would explain why some dreams feel completely absurd, filled with impossible scenarios and bizarre imagery. But then again, if dreams are just random firings of the brain, why do so many people report having similar dream themes, like falling, being chased, or suddenly realizing they're in public without any clothes? Another mystery is why some people never remember their dreams at all. While everyone dreams multiple times each night, some individuals rarely recall what they experienced. Scientists believe this might be due to differences in brain activity, with some people naturally waking up at the right moment to retain dream memories, while others transition too smoothly between sleep stages to capture any details. There's even evidence that certain lifestyle factors, like stress levels, sleep quality, or even diet, can influence how vivid and memorable dreams are. So, do dreams have a deeper meaning, or are they just random nonsense? We don't know for sure. Some believe dreams can predict the future or contain hidden messages, while others see them as nothing more than mental static. Until science uncovers the full truth, dreaming remains one of the great mysteries of the human mind. One of the most debated questions in philosophy and science is, are we alone in the universe? Given the unimaginable vastness of space and the billions of galaxies that exist, it seems almost impossible that Earth is the only planet with life. Yet, despite decades of searching, we have never detected concrete evidence of extraterrestrial civilizations. So, if intelligent life does exist elsewhere, why haven't we found them? Or, even more intriguingly, if they do exist, have they already found us? Scientists have discovered thousands of exoplanets, planets orbiting stars outside our solar system, some of which lie in the so-called habitable zone, where conditions might support liquid water. a key ingredient for life as we know it. Given the number of stars in the universe, many scientists believe life must have emerged somewhere else. But the great mystery is why we haven't seen any definitive signs of it. This paradox is famously known as the Fermi paradox. Enrico Fermi, the physicist who first posed the question, pointed out that with so many stars and planets in the universe, intelligent life should be common. If so, where is everybody? One possibility is that advanced civilizations are deliberately avoiding us. Perhaps they follow a kind of galactic zoo hypothesis, choosing to observe us from a distance without interfering, much like how we watch animals in nature reserves. Another theory suggests that intelligent species might be extremely rare, or they might self-destruct before reaching a stage where they can travel across space. Human civilization itself has only been technologically advanced for a tiny fraction of Earth's history, and with the threats of war, environmental collapse, and artificial intelligence, it's not hard to imagine how other civilizations might have ended before making contact with the cosmos. But what if extraterrestrial life is so different from us that we don't even recognize it? Most of our searches are based on the assumption that alien life would communicate in ways similar to us, through radio waves or visible signals. However, an advanced civilization could use communication methods beyond our comprehension, like quantum signals or dark matter interactions. It's also possible that life exists in forms we can't yet detect, such as microscopic organisms on distant moons or life based on completely different biochemistry, like silicon-based life instead of carbon-based. Then, there's the unsettling idea that extraterrestrials might have already found us, but have chosen not to make their presence known. Could they be studying us secretly, waiting for humanity to reach a certain level of development before making contact? Some even suggest that UFO sightings could be evidence of extraterrestrial monitoring, though there is no scientific proof to support such claims. Ultimately, the question of whether we are alone remains one of the greatest mysteries of our time. With ongoing missions searching for microbial life on Mars, deep space telescopes scanning for distant planets, and SETI, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, projects listening for signals from the stars, we may one day find an answer. Until then, we are left to wonder, are we truly the only intelligent beings in the universe, or are we just one small part of a much greater cosmic story? Another question that fascinates both scientists and philosophers is, what is consciousness? We know that we are aware of ourselves, our thoughts, and our surroundings, but how does this happen? What makes us conscious beings? This mystery has puzzled humanity for centuries, as consciousness is something we all experience, yet we still don't fully understand what it is or where it comes from. At first glance, it might seem obvious. Consciousness must come from the brain, right? But the deeper we explore, the more complex the question becomes. Neuroscientists have identified certain brain regions associated with awareness, memory, and perception, yet no one has been able to pinpoint exactly where consciousness originates. Some believe it emerges from the intricate connections between neurons, like a highly sophisticated computer processing information. But if that's true, then why haven't we been able to replicate true consciousness in machines, even with advanced artificial intelligence? This brings up another question. Is consciousness something unique to humans, or do other living beings also experience it? Many animals display behaviors that suggest self-awareness, problem-solving, and even emotions. For example, elephants recognize themselves in mirrors, crows use tools to solve problems, and dogs seem to understand human emotions. Does this mean they have a form of consciousness? And what about plants? Some research suggests that plants can communicate, respond to threats, and even remember environmental conditions. Could this be a primitive form of awareness? Then, there's the possibility that consciousness isn't just a biological function at all. Some theories suggest that it might be something fundamental to the universe, like space, time, or gravity. This idea, known as panpsychism, suggests that consciousness exists in everything, even inanimate objects, but at different levels. In this view, a human might have a highly complex consciousness, while a rock or a single atom might have only the tiniest fraction of awareness. While this might sound like science fiction, some physicists and philosophers seriously consider it as a possible explanation for why consciousness remains so mysterious. Another radical idea is that consciousness might not even be inside our brains at all. Some theories suggest that our brains act more like receivers, picking up consciousness from an external source rather than generating it. This is similar to how a radio picks up signals from the air rather than creating the music itself. If this is true, then what is the source of consciousness? Could it be a fundamental aspect of reality that exists beyond our physical understanding? Despite the progress we've made in neuroscience and artificial intelligence, we still have no clear answer to what consciousness truly is. Is it just a product of the brain, or is it something deeper, more mysterious, and possibly beyond our current scientific reach? Until we find out, consciousness remains one of the greatest unsolved questions of human existence. Now let's go even deeper. What existed before the Big Bang? The Big Bang theory is the leading explanation for how our universe began. It suggests that everything started as an incredibly small, hot, and dense singularity about 13.8 billion years ago, and rapidly expanded into the vast cosmos we see today. But this explanation leaves us with an even bigger question. What was there before that? Was there truly nothing, an absolute void with no space, time, or matter? This idea is difficult to grasp because our human experience is based on cause and effect. We expect everything to have a beginning, but what if the universe itself doesn't? Some scientists argue that time itself began with the Big Bang, meaning there was no before in the way we understand it. In this view, asking what happened before the Big Bang is like asking what's north of the North Pole. It simply doesn't make sense. However, not all theories agree with this. Some physicists propose that the universe has always existed in some form. One possibility is the idea of a cyclic universe, where the cosmos expands, then contracts in a big crunch, only to explode again in another Big Bang. If this is true, our universe may be just the latest in an infinite series of rebirths, stretching backward and forward in time forever. Another theory suggests that our universe emerged from a larger multiverse, where countless other universes exist simultaneously. In this view, our Big Bang might have been just one of many cosmic events, possibly triggered by the collision of higher dimensional structures known as branes in string theory. If this is true, then our universe wasn't the first, and it won't be the last. Some quantum physics theories even suggest that the vacuum of space is never truly empty. It is filled with quantum energy fluctuations that can give rise to entire universes. In this scenario, our universe could have spontaneously emerged from this quantum foam, meaning it may not have required a before at all. Despite these fascinating ideas, we still don't have a clear answer. The laws of physics, as we currently understand them, break down when we try to look beyond the moment of the Big Bang. Until we develop new ways to study the origins of space and time, the question of what existed before the Big Bang remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in cosmology. And finally, let's tackle one of the most mind-bending questions of all. Is reality even real? What if everything we experience, our senses, our memories, even our thoughts, is just an illusion? This question has puzzled philosophers for centuries, and has gained even more attention in modern science, with theories suggesting that we could be living in a simulation, an artificial world created by a far more advanced civilization. Think about it. How do we know that what we perceive as reality isn't just a highly sophisticated illusion? Everything we experience is interpreted by our brain through electrical signals. We don't directly see the world. We see what our brain tells us we see. If a powerful enough system could manipulate those signals, could it generate an artificial world so detailed and immersive that we would never realize it wasn't real? One of the most famous arguments for this idea is the simulation hypothesis proposed by philosopher Nick Bostrom. He suggests that if advanced civilizations ever developed the computing power to create highly realistic simulations, they might run countless simulated worlds for research, entertainment, or even as an experiment. If such simulations vastly outnumber real civilizations, then statistically speaking, it is more likely that we are in a simulation rather than in the base reality. In other words, if simulated realities exist, there's a good chance we are already inside one. Some scientists point to strange properties of the universe as possible clues. The fact that reality appears to be based on strict mathematical laws, governing everything from the movement of galaxies to the behavior of subatomic particles, has led some to compare it to a highly advanced form of computer code. Quantum mechanics also adds to the mystery. Particles at the smallest scales behave unpredictably and only take on definite states when observed, much like how pixels in a video game render only when they are needed. Could this be evidence that our reality functions like a simulation running on a cosmic computer? Of course, this remains purely theoretical. There is no concrete proof that we are in a simulation, and many scientists argue that reality is exactly what it appears to be: physical, tangible, and governed by natural laws. However, even if we are not in a simulation, the question still raises deeper concerns. How can we ever be truly sure that what we see, hear, and experience is real? If our senses can be deceived, like in dreams or hallucinations, could our entire perception of reality be just another illusion? This question may never have a definitive answer. Whether reality is an unshakable truth or a carefully crafted illusion, it remains one of the greatest philosophical and scientific mysteries of all time. Until we uncover the truth, all we can do is keep questioning the nature of our existence and our place in the universe. Now, my lovely students, here's your challenge. Pick one of these questions and try to explain it in your own words. What do you think about these mysteries? Share your thoughts in the comments. That's it for today's episode of English Podcast Academy. Keep questioning, keep exploring, and I'll see you in the next episode.